Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Testing, testing. Oh. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. 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 Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, that's good. So if it's here, can you not hear me? Is it where the mic is? Can you hear me now? Is that better? I can just keep the mic clear to myself. These headphones are pretty useless then. It's good fun. Is it still pretty quiet though? These headphones are meant to like feed it back, but they're not really. So that's good fun. Just gonna unplug them, I reckon. Can you hear me okay? Is that usable? So wait, are you saying it's not quiet? Oh, good. Okay. I will make sure I'm looking lovely, and then go live, I reckon. Goodness me. Right. Let's see if this works. haven't it. Is that is that working now? Just trying to find the actual settings. Good. That was just me being stupid then. That's all right. Hmm. Cool. Okay, 1 second then. So another question then. Do this. Has it just paused for everyone? What can people see now? Was I moving in or? 'Cause it's okay. Right. Oh, Right. Hello. Can you can people hear me? Is that all good? Let me know if you can't hear me. I'm going to share this link to this stream, and then we'll get going with the round, I guess. Give me just a second. Right. Hopefully this works. I'm going to parents around 5 are available. Lovely stuff. So it looks like table 4 is live. Let me just no. Yep. Table 4 is live. So we'll watch this one then. And I know Dimitri will murder me if I don't use that. For everyone wondering, this is the disc, which is a fantastic online Othello platform, and it's where we're going to be watching the World Championships this year. It's a bit different this year, a bit more um, homemade stream as opposed to professionally done as it has been previous years. But the goal is that we're all going to be watching this together. I know there are lots of people good in the chat, so if people are watching and have thoughts on the game, have thoughts on the moves that should be played, find anything surprising, or can share tips for the less good players that are watching the game, then that is how it will go. So I'm hoping to get lots of participation, lots of thoughts. Um, yeah. Hello to you too. Nice to see you again. The internet connection here is not the greatest, so if anyone uh, can't understand me for some of it, it's either that or the accent. So yes, hopefully it's all right. My wife. All right. So if I put this full screen, if I do this, does that change the view? Does change the view a bit. That's something. Okay. Uh, right. Let me undo that. Let me make that full screen, and then I'll pop out the chat, and then we should be hunky dory. Nice, Stefan. Oh yes, that's the other thing. If anyone is, I don't know, insulting my ability to read an Othello board, then I've got moderation tools as well. So we'll see. How do I pop out the chat? Here we go. Turn timestamps on. Yeah. Also, do let me know what you think about the stream. It, yeah, will be good to get your thoughts and make it something that we can improve. Right, let me pop out the chat so I can use flip the disk. All right. I can then put that just here, and all of a sudden we're good to go, I think. So one thing that will be a bit different is that you'll be able to see the score, the evaluation bar at the top. Again, the goal is to make this a bit more accessible to those that haven't played the game before as well, to keep it a bit more exciting, given that it's a longer game. Yeah. So currently we've got Shimamura Shiki from Canada versus Calvin and Co. From that's from Singapore, isn't it? Let me just double check that flag. Yeah, I'm good at perfection. Um, yeah, Calvin's white, and he's a very strong player. So it'll be interesting to see. So, if anyone has any lines that they want looking into, one of the good things about Flip the Disc is that we don't constantly have to be asking to switch backwards and forwards to the virtual board. As you can see here, I can just flip it. I can do some looking into it, and then I can put it back, which is honestly one of the coolest things ever. So, yes. Hello, nice to have you, Helen, and Ange and Stefan. I know you've messaged already. Something else that's cool is that you can see who the top fans are so far. So obviously Stefan's been spamming the chat, but point being, lots of interaction. It'll be good. We'll just have fun watching this together. Right. So currently, I'm going to share some thoughts, and those that know the game, please share your thoughts as well. Those that don't know the game, share your thoughts as well, because it's very possible they'll be better than mine. So currently, it's white's move. To me, the chat keeps popping away. To me, the most obvious move is just G3, just given that it's a quiet move. I don't think there's too much more to think about than that. In my opinion, most of the other moves are a bit louder. I don't know if maybe C7, given that it takes away Black's quiet move at C6 next. I'm just going to get the live chat up on my phone instead, so I can stop worrying about it. It keeps popping away. That's what I've done previous years. Oh, yes. So he did go G3. Whether that was the right move or not, we'll see. Actually, I think so. We can see. So this would have been better apparently, and I think that's because now if we take this away, Black now has C6, which is also a quiet move. So at the moment, it seems to just be about kind of both sides testing each other out a little bit. And how do I do this? Well, Othello. Yeah, testing each other out, seeing the kinds of moves they're making. Here we go. Yes, okay. Now I can see the chat. That's good. And now we can just focus on watching the game. All right. So what do? Yes, yeah, so currently Black will be looking to C6. I would be surprised if that wasn't played. Oh, a move has been played. It was C6. There have been more moves played. Yep. And then this flip the disc stuff is fantastic. I can see. I did notice the green lights before when I was editing, which is why I went back, but I should have kept up to date, I think. Yeah, so currently the options that white. Okay, so white's taking the edge. What I was going to say is that I think Black has to be careful not to flip the C2 disc, because then white is suddenly able to come to C7 with a very quiet move. For example, if I edit it like this, if Black were to go there, then white can go here, and that's quite quiet. It doesn't flip along this way. Obviously, Black might not go there, but I think that will be one of the key points that white will be looking out for now in the game. Thanks, Dimitri, for pointing that out as well. I may have been there for quite a while. That would have been awkward. This is XAT. No, it's not XAT. This is the full-on World Championship section. So from starting position, they play with 25 minutes each in the Swiss section, and then there'll be semi-finals and finals as always. Yeah, I think the plan was to potentially do this with some other people doing the streaming together, as well as we have in previous years. So someone that knows a bit more about the game than I do tactically. But if the microphone is this sensitive, it needs me to be this close, that might be difficult unless we're passing it backwards and forwards. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, black has actually gone to C1. You can see in the evaluation bar though that it's actually kept it about the same. I think white now is probably able to keep the option of C7. Can you guys see my mouse, by the way? If I'm pointing at stuff with the mouse, can you see that? I assume you can. But I think white also has the option of E2 now, which is also quite a quiet move. To me, if white were to play E2, it works at pulling black towards the right-hand side of the board. Although black possibly then has this as a move, which is also quite nice. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure what opening was played. If I just check that quickly. Oh, nice. It was that Leader's Tiger, I think it's called. I'm just going to check if there are any other games live now as well. Nope, so it is this one. So we'll head right back. All right. All right. I am back. So let me have a little look at what's happened here. Okay. So white chosen to go out B6, which according to the evaluation bar up here looks about looks slightly worse. But now obviously black. I guess the purpose. Hold on, let me think this through. So I'm thinking if white went here, then he may have been worried about black coming here, which is a bit quieter. Um, but I'm not sure. So he chose Super A6. Are there any lines people are thinking of? What do people think is the best move here? I think as black, my instinct, it would be to be looking at white going B5 and being a bit worried about that. Um, I don't know how I would stop that. Uh, I wonder if I just have to put up with it. I think the danger maybe is, for example, if black were to go F2, which looks quite intuitive, and then white goes here, and then, well, black kind of has to play through the wall then of the white pieces at that point, I suppose. But if black were to go here, my point was that white's kind of starts to be able to just build a big block of pieces, which whether that's good or not, well, apparently it's not in this case, but that's what I was thinking. But if anyone has any other suggestions, then that's also very good. Uh, Anyone using the chat here, it's good. I'm enjoying the platform, so thanks for all the work you put into that, Dimitri. It's looking very nice. Hmm. So looking at this actually, um, they've brought me another extension lead to plug the laptop into, and it still doesn't work. Must be the unluckiest extension lead user in the whole of Turkey. Don't know if you can see that. Look at that extension lead. This is good. Oh, right. This is going to be so. Still thinking. Still thinking. Okay. So the happens move made. So yes, that did end up going at h6. White's taking the edge because otherwise, if white had gone elsewhere, black has the edge and then has this move kind of whenever they want, which is known as a tempo, obviously. Um, so black's been quite quickly here. Um, and from the evaluation bar, you can see they're slightly up now, but it's interesting to see. Calvin, in previous years, has been a favourite for the youth title each year. Um, so he knows how to manage time, think moves through, and so on. whereas black is playing a bit more quickly. So currently it's quite close, but it will be interesting to see if any of the players make a mistake that they could have otherwise avoided. I think that's normally the danger if you play a bit faster. I think to me, the current option would be e2. Um, I think if white were to go here, that gives the danger of the stone trap here, um, which is a bit scary. I don't know if it would end up well or not for black or for white, but it looks scary for white. I think if white were to go b5, although it doesn't flip in this direction, it still allows black to then have this quiet move. Okay, having said that, white has chosen to go b5, and I know that because there's a little green light there. I'm a pro. Um, I assume the reason was just because it doesn't flip in this direction, and so it's a bit quieter. It's kind of beginning to try to capitalize on this edge, I would suppose, and playing big moves through the middle. Um, I think the move for black now would just be b4 just because it's so quiet and you don't want white to be able to take that away. Um, yeah, I think black looks a bit more comfortable. They have a few more options for their moves. I think they're kind of controlling the position a bit better here. So, for example, they have the option to play here and pass the play back to white. They have the option to attack this edge a little bit and see how white would respond to that. They've also got the option of f2 to begin to play out this top region. I think this uneven edge of 5 at some point will be something that black might look to try and sacrifice against. But I think b4 for now is definitely the pretty move, as Jan de Graaf would put it. And that's always the first thing I try and look for now since he told me that. But I also think for those that haven't played as much, it's also slightly more looking for the best move for yourself, but also looking for, if you make a move, what's the best move that your opponent could make, and then trying to take that into account as a priority as well. So black has gone b4. To me, I think a3 makes sense here, just intuitively again, just because black can't then play b3. So because this row is all white, you can't play here. That's off the top of my head though. I think black at the moment, white doesn't have to be too worried about them playing a5, because if black plays a5 at some point, it will flip this disc here as well. And if it, because of this piece, and so if it flips this disc, it means that, for example, if white plays somewhere, if black goes here, white takes the edge, they then have the option to play here at some point, and that becomes a tempo as well. Yeah, I don't know if anyone in the live chat has any suggestions, um, but it would be good to hear them. I think if I were white, it would either be a3 or e2. e2, which is kind of the move I just played. I think e2 doesn't give black a quiet move here because of this diagonal. I think black can't also go take this edge back straight away because then because this diagonal would be all white. Though apparently, according to the evaluation file, that's not correct. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. D8 seems reasonable. Okay. So D8 obviously is here for white, but then black has a good B8 reply. Yes. Does that make you worried about white is going here and then black having to flip a lot here? That would scare me, I think. Obviously, I might be missing something, but that uneven area looks quite tasty for white. So yes, I would say D8 does seem reasonable for white. It's the B8 reply that would scare me as black. Okay, so I know that was a move I've played already. My laptop battery might run out at some point. Right. So white is thinking, which is something we've seen from Calvin Coe so far. He's good at taking his time. I wonder if from the way he played soft, obviously D8 we've established like an okay move. A3 might be something he's looking at, as we talked about as well. I wonder if he might look at A4, just with the types of moves he's been playing thus far. Let me see what that says. Oh, I misread. B8 reply. B8 is there. That B5 is a bit less. Yes, I see what you mean. B4, B5. Ah. I'm not sure I fully understand. Right, B4, B5. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're looking. There, am I missing something? Are we looking on different boards? I'm just going by the flip the disk coordinates, which, by the way, change as you rotate the board. And if that's not the best thing you've ever seen, then something's wrong, and that's awesome. I think something that's missing. Right. Okay. Okay, so he did go a3 in the end, which again means that black now can't play b3. So it will be interesting to see where black looks now. I think naturally black would want to come somewhere like c8, but obviously they're not on the diagonal. D8 would also be a natural reply to this kind of edge, but then it gives, I think, white the option of here at f8, and then white also has the option to play out here after that, giving them a slightly nicer edge. I wonder if f2 is where they're going to look kind of straight away. D8 white, a5 black. So I guess that was before. Or is that now? D8 white. Oh no, because black's moved now. I'm assuming that was then. A5. Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty for sure. Yeah, that would scare me if I was white. I think this disc here scares me just because black can play it wherever, whenever they want, pretty much. I think at the moment. Um, I think if this disc were black, white would be much more in control. But I think that disc is strong for black. Uh, let me know if you disagree. But to me, that's kind of what the position is almost hinged upon. Fun fact though, in Turkey they've got these little yogurt pots of water, so it's good fun. They have them everywhere. Got, one here, one here. These ones, they're good. Nice water, and yeah, water always tastes better from a yogurt pot. I think it's like how Coke always tastes better from a can. Hmm. Oh, a move has been played. I know that. Oh, okay, right. Let's go back. Let's go back. That was my mistake. Right. So black, white, black. Okay, that's quite nice because that doesn't flip in this direction. That means white has to. This is where we are now. Uh, yeah. So my thoughts are white naturally might be looking here because they wouldn't be flipping this way. However, if they flip this disc, and if they flip this disc, that means that black has a nice move here, and so they wouldn't want to go there. This is also somewhere to look, but then obviously they'll flip this way, and that gives black a lot of different options of where to pull the game. Uh, yeah, there has been a move played. Well, has there? Am I lying? No, maybe not. Uh, I think here looks interesting for white. I don't like it very much because if black then goes here, he doesn't flip this way, and that kind of white either has to take the edge or let black take the edge, and then white would have this move, which is quite nice, but has to almost lose a move as a result. So if we see what move was played, okay, so that was the next one I was going to suggest. So black now, I think. I mean, they're going to going to be thinking about playing here, but that flips in this direction. Ideally, to play this move, you'd want this to be as quiet as possible, and this immediately takes away black's access from playing anywhere over here as well, which makes this edge stronger for white, I think. I think black also would be, I mean, they'll always be looking here, but they, I think, will be looking to save it as long as white doesn't have any super nice moves in this area. I wonder about here. I don't know if that will be played. I see a move that's been played now. Or, nope. Maybe that's just me. Now a move has been played. But I do wonder about here. I think that looks exciting. The evaluation bar might disagree, but computers don't know everything. At the end of the day, we have an evaluation bar, but at the end of the day, these are humans playing. Humans think differently to computers. So just because an evaluation bar says something is purely a better move doesn't mean that in reality it's a better move. For example, was it? It was 2 years ago in Italy where, let me get this right. I think it was Carita that won all his games in the open section, and then Nagano beat him in the semi-finals by playing an opening with a move. It was based on the horse opening, I think, and it was based on a move that was -4, and playing a move that's -4 against the player that's almost robotic, like Carita seems crazy. But because Carita hadn't prepared it so well, it made it very exciting, and Nagano ended up winning the tournament as a result. I'm going to make my phone landscape, I think, so I can actually see the chat, but there's something in the way at the moment. That will be better. Okay, so let me see if I missed one in the middle. Oh yeah, so black did choose to play here in the end. That's been almost like a tempo for black through the game, I think. So white's now gone to d1, which is not quiet exactly because black has all these options, but it is kind of testing the waters with black. If black goes, I don't know. I don't know. If black goes here, which I think they have to, because if white takes this edge, I think this row being black's, if, for example, black goes here, white goes here, or even black goes here, white goes here. My point is, as soon as white goes here, they're not going to flip this way. And that gives him this move as a tempo. And so that would be a bit scary for black. See, I'm getting this Othello stuff. F8 or F2. Hopefully that's from this move. Nope, that must have been from previously. Counting which is better, yeah. Yep, I will be checking the what's it called? The flip the disc live, I guess is the word. Might just put a cheeky plug in as well though. Yeah. Okay, so in this position, black's go. I'm sure black would have to go sport E1 because I just think it becomes really nice for white otherwise maybe, and also white might have to go here to stop black going there. Although if white were to then go here, Black aren't then playing there, so that's interesting too. Right, people watching, send suggestions and I'll tell you if you're right. No, I'll look at those too. Can't see the game. I'm sure that you can. The game's showing on my screen. Can people see the game? I think it shows F. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. We mean the game. Oh, okay. Well, you say that like it's bad, but I'm sure you mean it as a compliment. What is going on there? View tab. Right, let me stop sharing and then share the screen again. View the game is seen. Okay, right, okay. Time for a poll, I think. The classic. Because on my screen it's showing as fancier, so I need to work out what's going on there. And it might have changed. Oh, thank you. So people could just quickly vote in the poll in the chat. Okay, okay, that's weird that some people can. Those that can't see the game, um, do you have the live chat up? If you close the live chat, does that fix anything? Okay, no, apparently that doesn't work. Let me stop sharing, and then I'll start sharing again. Just to reiterate, the internet connection here is temperamental. So, okay, what about now? Can you see now? I don't know if you can change your votes, but if you if you can change your votes, then change them now. Yes, I appreciate that, Stefan. Let me know if you can see the game now. That should be... Oh, nice. Okay. Classic turn us off and on again. Always works. Never in doubt. Right. You can tell I work. Okay, so where are we? So black went there, white went there. So black didn't end up taking the edge. That's fair. White has now taken the edge. I think this is Okay, so the evaluation bar says that black. 1 second. All right, 1 second. Just having some technical things. I've got an extension lead now, and we'll see if it works. And it does. That is huge. I've never been anywhere. Guy Plowman, the big president himself, says hi. Yeah, literally whatever works. Do you want to come say hi?
Hello, everybody.
You have to be really close to the microphone.
Hello, everybody.
I was setting it up, and it was. I don't know, it's less sensitive than mine.
Working now.
It's working now.
Good.
They're saying hi back. Right, back to the game. The important stuff. As nice as my father is, we're all here to see the Othello. Right, yeah, I was curious about that edge move. Oh, that's cool. But my problem with this, and I'll go back to where we are, I know where it moves ahead. To me, so assuming white has to take the corner at some point because black can't play in this region, to me, black will get the wedge on one of these edges, but white will get the other edge that black chooses not to take the wedge on. And to me, that keeps white still in with an element of control. I suppose if white takes this corner, H1, and black takes the top wedge, so, for example, and I will go back to the game, but black can't even go there. If black were to go here, you know what, I don't know. Okay, we'll see. So white did go B3 in the end, because I'm also very aware of this bottom right corner. Can you guys in the chat, by the way, can you see my mouse cursor if I'm pointing at something? Because that would be good to know. Black does have this odd region down here that he can play out if white doesn't play out first. What's interesting now, I think, is that this region up here, white can't play in at all. So in theory now, black has parity. The bottom left one is the same. So I think I would be more comfortable being black here. I know the evaluation bar says black's winning, but I've been known to throw some magnificent leads. You can see the cursor. That's good. Pancake sounds good. Pancake sounds very good. Okay. So this is interesting. So white has sacrificed. / taken the diagonal. Black's cut the diagonal, so it was, I think, more of a sacrifice. Where can white go now? To me, I think do they have to just take this corner? Because they can't go here, because if black goes here, then white has to take the corner, and that's a bit of a pickle. Yeah, I don't know where does white go here. I think they just have to play, but they don't even have parity to play out currently. I think they have to take the H1 corner. Or okay. So I assume okay. I'm going to assume that black's just going to take the A8 corner. I think that's simple. And I think white then has to go A7. And essentially just play out the rest of the game according to parity. The problem, or a problem that I can see for it would be a problem for white, is that what they would ideally want is for, if black were to go here at A4, to flip this way diagonally too, but because that would then give white access to here, but that's not going to happen. So I think black's looking quite comfortable, but it will be interesting to see how they respond. They've played up to this point, I think, much faster, more efficiently, and so yeah, it'll be interesting, or is interesting, to see that they're beginning to think a bit more now. They've managed their time a bit more negatively. So in running, with like a 5K, for example, there are two ways you can approach it. You can start off by running as fast as you can and get slower throughout the race. And for some people that suits them better. You can also try and pace yourself evenly throughout the race. But the danger of that is that you then don't push yourself as hard as you otherwise could. And the other way is to start off more slowly, conserve energy, and then finish off as fast as you can. And I think the same goes for time management in Othello, or any time-based game, in that some players do better by using up lots of their time early on in the game and playing the end game faster and more intuitively. And some people will be the opposite, as in this case, where they'll play more naturally, quickly in the opening and maybe mid game, and then spend lots of time on the end game. And that appears to be what's happening here. And it's not that there's a right or wrong, I don't think, but it's that different play styles suit different players. And that's part of what makes us so cool, is that even if computers are incredibly strong, and getting stronger and stronger, they aren't human, and humans have other variables and inputs to take into account. So yeah. In fact, I'll start a little poll, I think. I do like a poll, given that the game's almost over. Let me type this. Be interesting to see what people think. Okay, so some moves have been played. Okay, so he did take the corner, so it looks like they're just going to play out the rest of the game, I would say. Okay, no, so there was this move first, but again, it does just seem to be playing out the game. Black has parity, so I would assume that black is now going to play a5, which doesn't leave white. Oh no, there's this diagonal. Yeah, okay, but that takes white back off this diagonal. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. White can't even go there. That's cool. Oh, so that will be what white was looking at. I'm being a bit stupid there. That's interesting. See, someone should have pointed that out to me, and I would have lapped that up, because I think that's cool. But yeah, this top left region here is, I think, quite instrumental. Okay, so most people would use those in the end game. I personally, I don't think I would, and I'm not saying I'm the best player in the world. However, I think maybe I should use it better in the end game. But I spend a lot of time in the opening and mid game trying to get it right. Yeah. So again, we do have the evaluation bar, and you can see black should be winning this quite comfortably. If you want to follow along watching the board as well, you can do so at one of the links in the description, the Flip the Disc link, which will take you straight to Flip the Disc to the World Othello Championship page, and there you can see all the other games that have also happened. And the way I believe it will work, I'll show you after this game is finished, as they just play out their final moves. Some of the games will be live broadcast on Flip the Disc. But I believe you can see the finishing positions as well to all of them. I need to double check that after this. I've done some exploring of the site, but it's all quite new and exciting still. We at home got a dishwasher recently, and it's all kind of life-changing, similar with this. Flip the Disc is the dishwasher of the Othello world. There we go. A good win against a good player for Shiki Shimamura. So yeah, strong. In fact, I'm just gonna check the rating. I think it might say that on the Flip the Disc website, but I'm just gonna search up here. Oops. Okay, so Shiki Shimamura is Japanese, which explains why they are so good. That makes a lot of sense. So, for those still watching, and a good game that was, I'm gonna yes, so if we go back to the World Othello Championships page, which is the link in the description, you can see now that some games have finished. This one, for example, okay, possibly not. So the way it works then is the ones with a red dot are ones that have finished, to my understanding. If you click on it, you can then go through and see the game. And I believe each game is being inputted in afterwards, so most of them you should be able to see. If I go back to round 1, you can see almost all of the games have been inputted, so you can look back through the games. So, for example, like We All Love Yan Song, the games will currently, the ones that have finished, be inputted. So Kento Arano played Arthur Juigné, and okay, that hasn't been inputted, but you can see they drew, and that will be interesting to look at. But yeah, that was an exciting game. All right, and I will be back for the next one. I don't know. This is the one thing. I meant to be able to press the button somewhere apparently that says take a break, and then it puts a like break screen up. But I haven't been able to work out how to do that. So I might just mute myself and put something over the camera, I guess. Yeah, I'm working this out as I go along, and it's been fun to set up. That's why we're a couple of rounds late. So yeah, I'll see you all when the next round starts. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Alright, guys, we are back. We are so back. That's, my back. The flight here absolutely ruined my neck. Anyway. Right. This round, standings after round 5 are open. Well, let's go over the standings then. Everyone still there? I assume so. So, right, is it still showing as live? Let me know if you can't see the flip the disk screen, of course. Okay. So current standings, Matthias Berg is in first, 5 out of 5. If you click on the player's name, you can see who they've played. So, some strong players. Brian Rose, of course, ex-world champion. So he's having a good tournament so far. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's playing who in the next round. I'm not sure what the let me check what the schedule is. For anyone wanting to check the official World Othello Championships 2025 page, that link's also in the description. So today there are 7 rounds. So this round, that's coming up, and then one more today. Tomorrow, there are 6 rounds, and then any playoffs. Then on the final day, semi-finals 1, youth semi-finals, semi-finals 2, which is the ladies semi-finals, semi-finals 3, the youth final game, and the 3rd, 4th playoff. And then on the Saturday after lunch, it is the finals, game 1, then the ladies final, then the finals, game 2, and then the 3rd final game, if that's required. Alright, see if it's apologies. Just waiting for the next round to become live. Yeah, hopefully it's not been too laggy, this stream so far. Obviously the internet connection isn't as good an internet connection as I've ever had, but as long as it's working and you can hear me, then that's the main thing. It's funny as well because in my live chat with the poll, I can only see the top option, the winning option, and so far it's spread it evenly apparently. Although spread it evenly has overtaken it to 56% of the vote, which I'm not convinced in practice is actually the case, but I think it's very hard to do deliberately. However, because I can only see the option spread it evenly, the question could have been anything. What's your favourite way to put jam on toast? Spread it evenly. And so on, I guess. So another cool thing about this year is you can see who the top fans are. Although I don't know if I can. We'll see. If I look on my phone, I can. Currently, the top fan is my wife, and that's a bit embarrassing for me. So if other people could interact in the chat, that's how you get your name up there. You should all be able to see who the top fans are. You apparently get XP as well, which don't ask me what that does. Yeah, someday I'll work out what that does, how to use it. Pairings for round 6 are available. Let's have a little look and wait for our favourite live symbol. Hello, Jonathan Carlson. Greetings from Turkey. I do like Finland very much. I don't know if people outside of UK watch Top Gear, but or the Grand Tour as it's more recently been known. But they did a very funny episode in Finland. Lots of snow. Right, let's have another look. So the pairings. It's interesting because Shiki Shimamura is playing for Canada, but I think rating-wise is Japanese. So has clearly been living in Canada or something to that extent. So we've got some strong matchups. We've got Shiki Shimamura versus Matthias Berg, Michele Barassi, Michele Barassi, you know who he is, versus Kento Urano, massive players. And of course, Kento Urano was our world champion. Oh, goodness me. Back in Paris, I believe that was. That was a very exciting tournament. And that meant a lot to him as well. And then table 3, we've got Arthur Juigné versus Yan Song, which is another massive game. So table 1, 2, or 3, time for another poll. I believe those are the ones that will be live. And I want to give you the choice. So you can see which ones the numbers are referring to on the screen. Feel free to vote. And you have until one of them goes live. And then if one of them goes live, that's not the winner. We'll watch that one until the winner one goes live. But I believe that those are the 3 tables that will be being broadcast. So yeah. Oh, so table 2 is live at the moment. So we're going to watch table 2. 75% of the vote, 4 votes. It's good enough for me. Also, of course, if hold on a second. Yep. If they finish before other ones, then we can flip to another one. Because, as I'm sure people know, Yan Song is one of my favourite players. I love the way that he plays. Okay, so we've got Michele Barassi as black and Kento Urano as white. If we just look at everything that was played, It was a tiger opening. I think this is the Rose variation. Might be wrong. Bill Rose. Oh, yeah. Don't quote me on that. Okay. So, something to note is that they're playing pretty fast at the moment, especially for some of the world's top players. And what that suggests at the beginning, especially given the evaluation bar at the top here is showing +0, it shows they both know where they are, according to a computer. So, so Barassi still seems to know where he is. He's responding quite quick. Kento Arano took a few seconds, a few moves back, but what I would assume is that he was choosing which line to go with. Coming into the tournament, top players tend to research and prepare for different players as well, so they'll have some idea of how each other likes to play. So currently white's go. Surely b3. b3 is like the world's prettiest move. Oh, there we go. As you can tell, I'm up there with the two of them. Okay, so at the moment for me, it's just kind of watching them because they still seem to be in book. The interesting thing to note when both top players are in book is when do they choose to be less polite. The Japanese have a term where they say you're a polite player, which is where you just try and play the best book move every time, whereas a less polite player will play a worse move, maybe because their opponent doesn't know it as well, or maybe because they know it better. So white has a kind of position here where they're just kind of wrapping around the black pieces, which I always think is interesting. I'd always be nervous to play like this, but obviously there's like Suakuni play quite like that quite a lot, I think. And he's obviously one of the best players ever. So yeah, it just highlights to me how much I have to learn. Although, having said that, I got to my highest rating ever on online this year in 1 minute games, up to 1937. So that's crazy for me, I think. To me, players that are 2000-ish and above are top players, but it was the first time that it was almost within reach. So yeah, not sure I really changed anything. I just started slowing down a bit, which sounds weird for 1 minute, but is what it is. So they're slowing down their moves now. Looks like they're out of book now and starting to think about what move is actually best to play given the situation. So it's white's go. The first thing that jumps to mind is the fact that white can play b8. Oh, I've just had an idea. I'm going to switch the microphone wire to the other side. Wait a second. This way. Oh, this way I can use the mouse without being impeded. Right, so yeah, what I was going to say before I see the green light. What this looks quite natural for white, but it's also somewhere black can't really play. So white is able to save it for later as a tempo, and indeed, white came out to g3. Black came out to a2. And that's really interesting because now white can't go in f3. And also interestingly is that it's back to +0 in the evaluation bar. yeah, I think black has quite an interesting little position. I it's hard to say. I need some suggestions in the chat, I think. I think as white, off the top of my head, I don't really see anywhere but b8, maybe f8 as well, which would force black to take the edge, but it's whether that really achieves anything. For example, if white goes there, black goes here, then white has to think again where to play, and the position's pretty much the same, but now black has an edge. Whereas if white goes here, then black is the one that has to think about where to play. I don't know if there's anywhere else, because white can't go. This diagonal looks scary to me. People watching, please do suggest moves. Yeah, to me, it surprises me that it's +0 because, well, maybe it's just because that's the one place that white can go, but everywhere else that white could go seems a bit loud. It flips in lots of directions and seems to give black more options themselves. So yeah. Yeah, while we're waiting for the move, why doesn't everyone in the live chat say where they're watching from? Obviously, we've got one from Finland, which is good. Oh, thank you, Stefan. You're awesome yourself. Yeah, where's everyone watching from? Obviously, Turkey's my situation at the moment, which is nice. The food's excellent. We were in China last year, and the food was also very good. But for me, who has quite simple English tastes, and I guess in England we're not really known for our cuisine in the same way, I just had to be a bit more careful finding something that was suited to me. But the stuff in Turkey is lots of meat, but really, really nice meat. I'm enjoying it very much. Although in China, I enjoyed the noodles very much. I thought they were very good. Oh goodness me. Well, that's a twist in the tale. So white came out here. Okay, I'm going to put this into edit mode because I want to look at this, even if they make another move. So black played there. White played out to e1. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah, actually, I didn't even consider that. I think I didn't consider that because it flips both ways, so it still looks. That's never a move I would think of. I don't think, but it doesn't. Black doesn't have a lot of space to play because it's a bit checkerboardy. Black went d1, still +0. Interesting. And then, oh my goodness, I think before I jump back to the live game, the idea would be if black takes a corner now. So it's not a stoner trap, I don't think, because black has instant access to the corner. But this is an even area, so if black plays one, white just plays the other. But this is an odd area, so white will get the wedge here if they play into here now. So I would assume the move that has been played will be a3 to force black to play into the area. Nope. Oh, yes, it will. I'm a genius. So black has to play there. White takes the wedge, and I think it was in Italy. I've been around for so long now that getting my years mixed up, but I believe it was in Rome where Michele Barassi played Kento Urano and played some absolutely outrageous X square in an opening and won. And it was, given that Urano was the defending champion that year, it was insane. We'll see if we can find it at some point, but yeah. Okay, so this might be a quickish game. Who knows? But they played out that edge, so this is interesting too. I think. So Black has seen here that White can't play here, so they've played here, forcing White to take the corner. But what Black gained in exchange for that was parity at the end, I think. I think this will save parity for Black if treated well. That could be what wins the game. But then White has a corner here, so might be able to build up some stable discs. Okay, so they're taking it now. And okay, so you can see the theory here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is an odd region that Black can't play into, so Black still has parity. So White, they're playing very, very quickly. I don't think it's so much that they're out of book or in book here. I think it's quite an intuitive game. Intuitive as in there was one quite exciting move, and the rest of the game has been close enough that they can play out the areas fairly straightforwardly. Obviously, now White has missed their go. White has to pass, given this odd region. So Black now has to think about how to play out this parity advantage that they have. We can see in the evaluation bar that they are +2. So they have a small win if that's the case. Excuse me. Yeah, so Black's really giving this some thought now. Yeah, interesting. I wonder what Black's looking at. Surely not. Is G2 feasible here? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to look. It's a 0. So yeah, G1 is +2. I think it was. That's interesting. Why is G2 the +2 move? Oh goodness. So there's actually. Is it just me, people watching, or is that quite a hard move to find? I think what you don't want is for White to start building up lots of stable discs down here. And I think playing over here allows for that because White has this corner. I naturally went to look at G2, just because it doesn't play this edge, it doesn't give white this edge, and white can't go here. But what I guess that allows for is white to go here and draw out all of these discs, which might be why it's bad. I think this definitely doesn't work because white can then take the edge, and that is getting a bit scary. So I guess I mean, white can't go there actually, but yeah, maybe that must be why. Okay, well, okay. So black didn't find the move. Now it's +0. Now black's, oh goodness me. Now black's decided to go G4, which, okay. Flips lots, but now my worry would be white. That H4 looks like a massive move. Yeah, I also can't see how much time they have left, so yeah, and also I say like stuff about, oh well, white could build all these stable discs, but that's with my my little virtual board where I have more time to think about. Obviously, when you're in a tournament condition, it's different. So more pressure, more things to think about. Yeah, surely white just plays H4 here, just because that flips so many discs. Kind of it extracts the discs from black's little block over here. I think what we're going to check as well after this round is my brother Mark Plowman is playing for the UK, representing the UK, and we're going to have to check how he's doing as well. So apologies if you don't want to see that, but that's what's happening. I think someone came up to him yesterday and wanted a picture with him because they knew someone that had picked him for their fantasy Othello team. So, which we'll also have a look at once the tournament's a bit more got going. So probably tomorrow. Yeah, so I think at this point there's less thinking moves through and more counting the moves to the end. So they'll be able to work out exactly how much of an advantage they have in this position. That's something the top players are very, very good at. I think I'm going to have another yogurt pot of water. It's nice. It's good water. And of course, both players will go away from this and look through the game and see where they could have gone better. And while I think the G2 was hard to find, you wonder if it's the kind of move that he'll look back on and it will be something that he won't make that same mistake again, because of some pattern that it has or something like that. But no, these are very, very experienced players, so yeah. Alright. So yeah, again, only 3 options to choose from here. However, Kento will be counting out each of the moves, so basically playing it out on a virtual board, but in his head, saying, well, if I play here, and I flip this many discs, they can then flip this many back, and so on. Because I guess the problem with h4 is that you don't have any control in the same way. White can't play anywhere here, so if black goes here, then white has to go here. Black goes here, and white, well, obviously there are only two moves left there, but you see my point. But yeah, it will just be a case of counting it. I always find it funny watching, especially the Japanese players count, I think, because they always look quite time pressured and nervous when they start counting, but it's probably one of the most certain points that they have in the game. But yeah, the Japanese take it very, very seriously and are very, very good at the game. They also have many players in their country, so to qualify for the World Championships is a big honor for them. We, in previous years, we've got to kind of interview them after they've won their tournaments or games, and you can tell just how much it means to them. It's nice. Although, I swear, if he plays h4 now, after all this time thinking, I might be up there. I'm just gonna actually. Obviously, some people might be counting themselves as they're watching along, so I won't ruin anything. But that doesn't mean I don't want to. Also worth noting that because they played the first part of the game so quickly, they have a lot of time to think now, which, like as we spoke about, is just different ways of managing your time. Oh man, my back. Oh, all right. You can tell I'm getting older and older. I feel like there's been a good number of draws thus far, especially amongst the top players. I think the first round had one, the last round had one on the top table. Yeah. I don't know what's like statistically normal for numbers of draws, but some close games so far. Assuming this one ends up as a draw, which I would be surprised if it doesn't, given they're both so good at the game. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, the Swiss team is looking formidable this year, as I believe my father put it. They've got Michele Barassi, Arthur Joignier, who got to the final in Rome. I think it was in Rome. Yes, because that was. Are you sure it was Paris? Yeah, because it was against Kento Arano. Okay, right. Let's assume that was Paris. Then they've got Felix Joignier, who's Arthur's brother, who I haven't seen for about 10 years, and I saw earlier in the day, and he's much more grown up than he was. He's much taller than me, which is funny. Not that hard, but still funny. And then obviously Matthias Berg, who knows every opening to everything. So yeah, very strong team. Okay, so white. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Oh goodness. So white has played f3, which isn't actually the best move there. So that's a -2. Oh, so all that thinking and my quick look at the board got it. Is what it is. Okay, but no, even if I hadn't seen that, I would still have taken his choices over my choice, my intuition or lack thereof. Okay. So that will be interesting. Who was it earlier that had a +2? It was black. So it just goes to show that humans do this. Humans aren't machines. So Barassi now has his +2 lead back. Which is sad, but firstly, you don't know what's going to happen from here. It could just happen again. Like, it's not a simple game. Secondly, it's part of it. If stuff like this didn't happen, then it would be boring, I think. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what people think is the best move here without counting, just intuitively, because we've established that's the way to go. Yeah, we do all make mistakes, and if that's a mistake, like, you have to be pretty happy with yourself and your level. That's like a -2 mistake is pretty small. I think here, I wonder if just G2 is the way to go, because it flips a lot, and it doesn't seem to flip a lot in a way that white can flip a lot back. If I go to the little edit, oh, never mind, actually, because H2 flips a lot back. Yeah, so what I meant was G2 I think would be a stupid move. I feel like I've just undone my analysis credibility. Okay, H2. The thing I was looking at with G2 was just the fact that black has the diagonal from H1 to H8. I wonder if can I highlight individual discs? That'd be good. Yeah, again, for those that weren't watching earlier, all the useful links to the World Othello Championships for this year's website, the World Othello website, and Flip the Disc, which is this website that we're using. Those are all in the description to this live stream. So please check those out, especially Flip the Disc. Flip the Disc is a great way to follow tournaments and also play online. But obviously playing online as well requires other people to be playing online too. So yeah. And as you can see, Flip the Disc is available in browsers. So you can use it on PC, you can use it on a tablet, you can use it on your phone. So yeah, make sure you check it out. PC as well. You can zoom in and out, which is cool. Then it's got the live chat section. We were talking to, was it Ben in the last round? Settings. You've got loads of cool settings. Evaluation bar, we can turn that off if we want. Show legal moves. So that's obviously this. Mark last move. That's the plus on the disc. Sound is going to be on because that's awesome. You can analyze. You can edit. The edit feature is awesome. You can go back to wherever you want, try out different lines. Press the edit button again, and it goes back to the position. Absolutely magic. Dimitri, the guy responsible for this, seems to be listening. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, I'm sure he'd appreciate them being put in the chat as well. And also for this live stream, if you have any suggestions for this, then let me know as well. Obviously the goal is just for us to kind of hang out, watch some Othello together here. Obviously it's Othello at the highest level. Yeah, having said that, I'm not at the current position. I was at the position I went back to when I was editing. So yeah, so real game, still a position from the real game. I start editing. I stop editing and it goes back to the position I had it to. Then you press this button here and it takes you back to where it currently is. This button takes you back to the beginning, and so on. This would have been useful to know in the last round. Mark's game has finished. No spoilers, no spoilers. Oh, that is something to note, to be fair. If anyone... well, I guess it's a bit different with the evaluation bar here, but if we're not looking at the ratings of the scores for the moves on the board, please don't spoil it in the chat. Okay, so black went H2, then white went G2. So it's still +2. So at the moment, Kelly's winning. Mark's game has finished, so we will be checking on that in a second. It's been interesting to have Mark as a brother, because he's very, very smart and has suddenly improved quite a lot at Othello, and the way he thinks is quite different from the way I think. So we have some good games, but he's just gradually beating me more and more, to the point that I'm quite scared of getting drawn against tournaments now, because it doesn't seem to go well. All right, so 33-31 for Kento Arano. Good game. Good game. Exciting to watch. Some exciting moves there. So if we go back now, Matthias's one versus Shiki Shimamura is live. So we will watch that and then check Marks afterwards. All right. So I can't see the clocks. However, they're less far into the game. So Matthias is white. Shiki Shimamura is black. Let's have a little look at this position. Yeah, for the record, Shimamura has a rating of 2,408 compared to Matthias's of, can I use a computer, 2,249. So ratings-wise, Shimamura would be the favourite here. However, Matthias is an exceptionally strong player as well. So we will see. So here we can see white took a wedge. That's interesting. Black now isn't on this diagonal, so has to figure out how to cut that. And my guess is that by playing H2, they're one, building up some stable discs along this edge, but two, they've cut this diagonal and so have access down to A8. Because if white were to take the corner, black could go to G1. Whether that's the best order of play or not, that's a different question. But I think that's the kind of idea. It gives control of this diagonal back to black a little bit. So white's gone C2. Let's have a look at that. I'm sure there's a reason he played that. There must. Some help in the live chat would be useful here. So I would assume white would be looking at black going here, because that's a no. black going there in the next move, because that's quite a pretty type move, and adds to kind of a solid block of discs for black down here. Because white's gone here, it means that if black now goes here, it is suddenly much louder, and black now has less access up here. That would be my thoughts, but if anyone else has some insights, that would also be appreciated, because yeah, I mean, there's also the question of where else could white have gone. If they go here, it still allows black a fairly nice move, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, C, D2. So they have gone there, even though it's a bit loud. Oh no, they've gone the one next to it, my mistake. So it's a bit quieter, and of course retains their access here. I would think that white would be looking for D1 here. Okay, so okay, let's see. Right, D2. I guess it's just the options of quiet moves here. White now has to choose what to do about both of them. Although white still has the option to take the corner, and black still has the option to take the corner down in A8. However, if black takes the corner down here, then white can take this wedge. So, for example, white plays there, black, white, and then black has to choose where to go. So they might have this as a move, however, they would have to kind of choose, and it puts the pressure on them to do that choosing. Neither of them want to take the corner first. But why is that? Is that just because of parity? So if wait until the open space is played in. So if white takes the corner first, are they not able, Mark, to then build along this top edge? Is that not an advantage for white? Right. So, okay, so if white takes the corner, black would go G1. But is white not able to start kind of expanding along this edge now? Is that not good for white? I know black still has access to A8, but they did before stable diagonal top right. Okay. Yeah, so you're talking about G2 disk being stable, for example. Yeah, and it not, for example, flipping that way. Yes, yeah. Okay, so it's almost a game of cat and mouse at this point, I guess. The only caveat is I can't, again, see their clocks, so if one of them's lost on time, I might just be sat here forever, or will be sat here forever altogether. But yeah, I would assume that black has played d2 just to give himself the options of the two pretty moves, e2 and b3. The other option will be for white to eventually play g1 to get g2 disk, to then finish parity in b8. So g1. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. G1 to get the G2 disk. Yes. Okay, but however, the white's Matthias has gone to D1. Which hasn't changed the evaluation bar at all, to be fair, so was a good move in itself. Black. So I would think black has the option just to, although, okay, so going there isn't as quiet as I thought. Is it in a bad way, not quiet? It gives white the option to go here and not flip this way, and that's quite quiet. However, I don't know. I don't know if it allows black to get the wedge here. However, the other option is for black to play b3, as they do. I would assume white just plays a2, although black has the option for the a8 corner. So if white were to play a2, black might then choose to take a8, and even though white gets the wedge, black is then able to start kind of building out a little bit, I would think. But we will see. The other option for white is to e2, which is pretty. It's quiet. Does it then give black an advantage somewhere else? I mean, not overtly. I think that's quite a natural looking move. And then white has to choose again. And white isn't able to play up here on this edge, has to play one of these two. B2 would then be a non-starter, so they would have to go A2, and then that runs back into the problem we were talking about before, where white takes the wedge, then black can take the edge. So it's all about balancing it up, I guess. So white has chosen to take the edge. So I would have previously assumed that black might think about taking the corner now. But they are also at liberty to leave that, I guess, as long as they have access to it. So by that I mean not losing this diagonal here. Yeah. I wonder if e2 is feasible. There's also actually the option of e1, because if black goes e1, okay, ignore the evaluation bar, that's just mocking me at this point. White, my thought was white can't go here at all. White would have to go here. White couldn't go g1 because it would flip the x square, although that then gives the diagonal, which is, I don't know much about diagonals, but that looks like a pickle to me. Going here would cut it again. Anyway, that's quite far ahead, so we will concern ourselves with that if it comes to it. Yeah, I would think e2 is the natural move, but we will wait and see. Alright. So still thinking it through, and they're probably in a similar point where they're beginning to start counting, to be able to think about counting. Yeah, these top players are crazy with how well they can do that. I think while we're waiting for the move, I'm just going to pop back, check for Mark Plowman in this handy filtering feature here. Oh, so Mark got a wipeout. That's good. Won't look into it too much, but happy for him. I'm probably his biggest fan at this point as well. Right, if we go back to the game. Okay, so a move has been made. See, this is my problem. These types of moves that pull out diagonally like this, I never think to look at. But they are commonly quite used, I think. Yeah. Whether it was the right move or not. Was that a move I showed? I don't think I did show it. I think I showed it for later, based on another move being played. I just never really tend to look out for that happening. I think I'd already bet on this square being filled in. I think it's something I need to improve about my gameplay, because it seems to be something that's used fairly regularly, and I never even look at it. And I'm okay at considering the kind of out there moves. Yeah, something that's missing. Okay, so white has taken the edge. Okay, so white now has an option, and surely, is it not just a simple, oh goodness, so you can see the evaluation bar has just jumped up to plus 18. So you wonder if there's a swindle somewhere that has been missed. So there. Right, I'm going to look at this slowly, so bear with. So white played there. That made it jump up from +2 to +18. The reason for that, black's played there. Now white can play there, and does. Is that why? Hold on. So white now only has one choice, and black gets the last two. I don't know. That's confusing. The exact position I showed. I don't know. My memory's not good enough for that, I think. Okay, well, an exciting end to the game. Well played, Matthias and Shimamura. Are the games. So Felix has finished his game. He lost. I think Artur and Jan Song are still playing, but I don't think it's being shown live on Flip the Disc. If people are wanting to check out different games as well, make sure to say in the live chat and we can check how they're doing. But overall, an exciting round. I'm going to have a quick break and then I'll be back for the next round. I'll be back to just update it when the pairings are live too, so from the standings. Or if I just go to standings, can I just do it like that? I assume it will update for you. All right, see you all soon. Thanks for being here. All right, see you soon. All right, we are back. We are so back. There seem. Oh, my phone isn't muted. We seem to have some technical issues with table one. If those are fixed, we'll watch it. But currently, we're going to watch. Hold on. All right, we're going to watch table 3. Let me know if you can all hear me okay, or let me know if you can't hear me. So we're going to use table 3 here. So we've got Takashi, not to be mixed up with Takahashi, versus Kim, or Yamakawa versus Kim, and yeah, they are slightly into the game. So if we just look at the opening, it's appears to be another tiger, leader's tiger this time. I think, yep, as opposed to the typical one. It seems to be a rotating position so far. So each color has a wall of discs, and every time they play a move, it kind of rotates the position somewhat. And the interesting part of the game then becomes who decides to play through the other player's pieces first. Yeah, let me just check if the table 1's been fixed. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, we're going to watch this game. So, let me get the live chat back up as well. Ugh. 4 players have not lost yet, says Mr. Ruffle. I'm just going to hop back to the standings. Is that so? 32. 1, he won. He won. He won. He won. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, 3 now. But that's less drawn 2. No, it did lose 1. Okay, well, that's going to be interesting to watch. Table 1 is now appearing to be working, and also appears to be further through than this table. So we're going to watch the top table. So 2 players that haven't yet lost games. I'm just going to double check that, because I might be lying to you all. Nope, yep, so they're both on 5.5 out of 5. So they have drawn a game each, but the winner of this essentially will be at least joint top. So, 2 draws. Wow, there've been a number of draws. Huh. Okay, so yeah, table 1's correct now. We're watching Arthur Joignet from, well, he's playing for the Swiss, and Shiki Shimamura, who's from Japan but playing for Canada. No one saw that. I may have just double checked just to make sure, but yeah, that's Canada. I did know it. Okay. So black has played to g8. I think to me, the things that are interesting are that white can't play the kind of natural f8 move here. And I think that's why they have now gone h4 despite it flipping in two directions, because it gives them access to that f8 square, which allows them to attack this edge because the black piece is right next to the corner. So the black would have to respond there. Yes, I did assume it was the correct flag. I just looked at the rating page as well, and which says they're Japanese, even if they're a resident in Canada. All right. Yeah, so h4 gives white, I'm pretty sure this was the purpose of the move, access back there. So black goes h5. It will be interesting to see what happens, because the thing that stands out in this position to me is the fact that both colors have some quite suspect looking edges. So black, obviously, maybe not edges, but black has this G8 piece out here, whereas white has this edge on the top row here. And another interesting thing is that the pieces are all quite spread out, which makes it an interesting position. I think something you can be looking for as white here is, will he get a opportunity for a kind of stoner trap type thing? But the thing that would be necessary for that would be for this diagonal to be white if white were to play in b7. And it would also be a case of which way would it then be played, but there might be something else that white's looking for as well here. Looks like a white win. Oh goodness. I am quite uncannily awesome with these. I did just... right, alright. So this is a similar thing to that other game we were watching. Yeah, so white has gone there. The idea being, this is even, so they play this out. This is then odd, so if white now plays in here, they get a wedge. This is very similar. Can someone in the chat just confirm this isn't the same game we were watching earlier, is it? Just flips or something. Okay, I feel like I'm going insane, because not the same. Okay, fine. It's very similar. It's not a kind of position you see all that often, but it's very, very similar. Was it Shimamura who had this position earlier, or was it Calvin and that was against Shimamura, wasn't it? So was it that game? Is this going to be known? Does this kind of a position have a name, or is it going to be known as the Shimamura thing by the end of this? I think it's interesting because you've got these uneven edges that you can attack, but it allows you to play the X square straight away. So that's something that I'll be taking away for myself, I think, to try and use. Interesting situation though. All right, so I mean, black here surely has to play out one of these Oh. Oh. Okay, I assume that was an inputting error. Oh, no. Fixing it now. Okay. Inputting errors it looked like. What is happening? Right, so. Right, okay. Seems whoever's been inputting the moves misclicked. So black took the corner. White went on this edge. That's more what we were kind of expecting. Filled in that wedge. And black's now gone in that X square. Oh my word. Right, so if white takes the corner, take a look at Barassi Arano round 6. Is that the game it was from? Is that where I know it from? Right, I'm going to do this quickly. Round 6. Right, yes it is. Yeah, because I remember watching it. Yeah, there we go. That's near identical. I mean, come on. That's like, it's got everything. It's got the space up here, that's weird. Is that just me? Anyway, apologies for that. That's you don't see that every day. So B1. Okay, well we're back to the game now. They've played out the edges. Yeah. I mean, you definitely don't get the impression they're in book because they are thinking it through. But all right. Am I just losing it? But now you've got this whole parity thing. Are you sure it's not the same? Someone answer me, please, because someone because it's +0. It's got this parity region here. It had these little holes. Is this like a planned? What is going on? Someone answer me. Because it might be that they know how to play out a draw or something. So is it? There was a G2 move, wasn't there? There was this game. Is that so? H2 would be the correct. Obviously, it's blacks go because whites just skip. So H2 would be correct here, but it's not. So it must be different. And okay, that is it just me or is that bizarrely similar? That's like you get some positions that are quite similar, but that's like as similar as it gets. Anyway, it appears to be different at this point. H2 is +0 +0. But obviously, as we saw in the other clone of this game, you can make mistakes. That's strange. That's kind of thrown me a little bit. That was so similar. Like that, not there. That whole thing of parity, miss a go. Yeah, but then the other game was lost because I think it was Kento didn't play h2 and Barassi won 33-31. Anyway, I don't think I've ever seen that before. And I've done this for 4 or 5 years now. That's strange. Anyway, more yogurt water to celebrate. Excellent stuff. So, well, as we saw in the last game, it will be a case of counting now, for sure. I do remember in the last game I suggested something like G2, but that allows white to then play G1 and pull all the discs out, and that's bad. So I do learn from my mistakes. I guess E2 would have the same problem. The kind of move I would miss here would be G1, because that's the kind of pulling out onto the edge type thing. And I feel, well, apparently it's not right, but that's the kind of thing I'm looking for now. I know I miss it. Okay, so E2, I would assume E1 now. Apparently E2 was the right move. Surely it's got to be E1. I just pull so many discs out. Although there was a move like that as well in the other one. And I know these are different games, but they are very, very, very similar games at the same time. And this one's still a draw as of now, so the same position. Do you think it must be a known draw, or not a known draw, but like a very deeply known game? Because the other game was played out quite quick as well. In which case it would become less bizarre, but it depends if it was still in book up to that point for both games, I suppose. And I mean, this one's still drawing, but they seem to be counting now, so you'd assume not in book. What a weird situation, though. Glad we watched this one. Okay, so F1. Well, okay, that is similar as well, because I think that was where I missed that move that was like pulling out to the edge in the last game, and I would have just gone E1. So surely now E1 for black. Although, yeah, because E1 for black means if white has to go there, but then black gets this diagonal, but then white gets a lot to pull out. So, yeah, we will see. Also, just a reminder, this is the final game for today. So, we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully for the first round, which is, I think, at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Friday, yeah, 9 o'clock. How come there isn't a filming crew around? Well, depends what you mean by that. I mean, got my little webcam here. It's just different requirements for different years, I think. It is nice to see the players, and we'll see, especially after the finals, we'll try and get some interviews together. Cameras that show the players as well. Yeah, we'll try and get that together for the finals. But as I've kind of mentioned, the internet is slightly slower than it has been some other years. So obviously, when you're streaming, you've got all the different inputs and stuff into that stream. So yeah, different requirements. However, this game has remained a draw, and you would imagine at this point they're not going to mess that up at all. There we go, another draw. You wonder how well they knew that game. That was fascinating to see it be so similar. Oops, wrong button. Yeah, how interesting. How did the other position finish? Round 6. Right, everyone mentally take a screenshot. Round 6. Yeah, it's definitely a different game, but bizarrely similar. So, yeah, I mean, that position, that was the same, that was the same, that was the same. That was similar. I don't know if it was the same. Yeah, strange. Alright then. Let's just check on Mark. He hasn't finished yet. Let's go back to table 3 then, I suppose. Yes. Yeah, there's also a part of it this year where we're kind of trying new stuff to see what goes well, what doesn't. So, yeah, ultimately, it's about giving the best viewing and almost participating experience for those that aren't here. Trying different ways for that. So, yeah. Anyway, we've got Takashi as black and Kim as white, and black's move. So I guess, yeah, so well, I mean, the evaluation passes, black seems to be up. The reason that is, I think, is because they just have so many pretty moves. So for example, they had C2, they had B3, all of which flip in only one direction and only flip enclosed discs. So this should, at this point, be, I think, quite comfortable for black. There doesn't seem to be anything major that could mess that up. I wonder at what point was there a big jump, or was it gradual? It seems to be relatively gradual. That's fair. Okay, white's gone B3. Black doesn't have... Black doesn't really have explicit parity yet, I don't think, because if black goes there, for example, I don't know. Yes, yeah, it will be up by the end of the day, I think it said. Alright, well, where will black go? I think naturally for me, B2 is where I'd be looking first, at least. I mean, I guess I'd be looking at taking this edge here first, but then that gives white the option of playing that bottom right region out. However, I remember going to my first tournament with my dad in Cambridge, at Cambridge EGP 2013, I think it was, or maybe 2014. I was 13, and I barely knew how to play the game, and Dad told me that the one thing I need to know is don't flip too many discs, and if I ever see this 5-on-4 position here, then it's almost always a good move to sacrifice here. And I didn't really understand sacrificing, and so there was one game I played where I got this little 5-on-4 thing, and I couldn't remember for the life of me what I was meant to do with it, so I think I ended up playing here, which obviously doesn't get you the wedge, and that was a game I lost. I lost all my games that tournament, but it was fun, and here we are 11 years later. So, but I think I would play there naturally. However, just because now if white goes there, then you're able to kind of add pressure to that, and then if white takes a corner, then you have a more parity type spot there. Although I guess if you go here, then white gets the little swindle of if they take the corner, black can't play there. Anyway, just thinking out loud, so black did play there. I would be interested to see what the correct would have been there, but B2's still very good. All right. So C2, and now, I mean, B1 is just simple. So if that's played out, right, let me try and do this without editing. So I don't see any way that B1 isn't the best move. I don't think A2 would be. I guess the only thing is B1 means that white could just take the bottom edge, and then black is left with the whole parity thing. Whereas if black goes A2, then because it's a uneven edge against the corner, white is forced to take the corner, and then that leaves a little parity thing for black to then use. So what I mean is, if black goes there instead, and white goes there, then black can come down here and play parity out instead. And that gives black parity, I think. So having said that, I didn't actually watch the evaluation bar while I did that, but I would say A2 is maybe better. It'd be interesting to know people's thoughts in the chat. It's also obviously in counting territory, I would think. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess black also has the option to take the bottom edge, but if they do, then white can just go to B7 and play parity out, I think. Anyway, yogurt water. Okay, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. What would... Yeah, I was wrong. I still stand by my logic, though. I reckon the evaluation bar is just not as good as me. Because to me, if white now takes that, I would have thought black can't go there now. And that's where I would have wanted to go afterwards. Does black just have to... Oh, I don't even know. Anyway, might be the correct move. Still looking quite comfortable for black is the main point. I should probably be spending more time thinking through my endgames as well. Like, I would just look at this and intuitively play, I think, even in a tournament, so I think that's something I can learn from this too. Okay, so corner. Excuse me. I don't know if black really has the option to play up here. Or perhaps even take this edge. What would have happened there? White couldn't go there. White could have played this out, I suppose. Or played for there. Interesting. Anyway, these players are much better than me, so... Yeah, they always spot things. Okay. Where does black go here? Nice and simple. Is that so G7 now and then H7? Nice. Then diagonal, the X square. Very nice. And then G1. Ooh, or surely G1. Because parity, even though H2 is way cooler. Surely there's no way that H2 is better. This is the most tense moment of the day. I refuse to look at the analysis here. Surely, there we go. It's like I'm whispering in their ears. Nice, well, good games. Good games, good games, good games. Let's assume... No, not all the scores are in yet. Is Mark's game in? That's the real question. Nope. Okay, well, exciting games. Yes, two players still without a loss. Although, if I'm not mistaken, that was round 7. So Arthur is now on 6.5. No. Oh. Who just drew? Who had that epic draw? Yeah. Right. So right. Okay. Let me get this straight. So they're both on 6, and then as they just drew, and then Takashi Yamakawa is also on 6, but has lost a game. Oh, I see how that works. Exciting stuff, though. Katie also doing really well on 5. Let's just see where she is. She was one of the top seeds. She played Takanashi. That's always quite scary. So I've heard. If I just... Can I just find it like this? She there? Am I being stupid? Oh yeah, there. So she hasn't finished yet, but she's had some good games. Wow. Yeah. Well, she of course got to the semi-final a few years ago. So you saw my cheeky Control F. That's good. All right. Well, exciting stuff for day 1. We got a stream working eventually. We'll work to improve it and so on. Yeah, well, to non-techie people like me, these names are visible because you can see them. So I see what you're saying, though, and I will not make that mistake again. I do apologize. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back at around 9 o'clock tomorrow. See you all then. Have good evenings, or mornings, or afternoons, or wherever you are. See you later.